However, we must also acknowledge the challenges. Society often pressures people to label themselves too quickly, leaving little space for exploration. For women questioning their sexuality, this can create anxiety, especially when they don't yet have all the answers. A well-designed lesbian sexuality test doesn't force a label on you. Instead, it encourages you to notice patterns in your feelings, your emotional responses, and the kinds of relationships that feel natural and fulfilling. In that sense, it's not a verdict, it's a mirror, reflecting pieces of yourself you may not have noticed before. The importance of such self-reflection cannot be overstated. Many women grow up absorbing heteronormative narratives, where attraction to men is presented as the default, and anything else is treated as an exception. This can lead to years of confusion, missed opportunities for authentic love, or even internalized shame. A lesbian sexuality test can be a small but significant step toward breaking free from those narratives. It can give women permission to acknowledge feelings they may have quietly carried for years, feelings about female friends, celebrities, or even strangers that never quite fit into the heterosexual mold. But we must also be careful. Sexuality tests should never be seen as absolute truth. Attraction is complex. It can be emotional, romantic, physical, or even aesthetic, and not all forms of attraction are the same. Self-reflection tool, not a final answer. In today's digital world, we have a quiz for almost everything: your personality type, your dream job, even the fictional character you're most like. But when it comes to something as personal and life-shaping as sexuality, many people turn to online tests hoping for quick clarity. A lesbian sexuality test, for example, can feel like an easy shortcut to figuring yourself out. Yet here's the truth. While such a test can be a valuable starting point, it is not and should never be your final answer. The power of a self-reflection tool lies in its ability to spark curiosity and open the door to deeper conversations with yourself. It invites you to think about questions you may have ignored, buried, or been too afraid to ask. You might reflect on your past crushes, emotional connections, or fantasies and realize patterns that you hadn't recognized before. That awareness can be liberating. It can give you the courage to explore feelings that society has taught you to silence. But there's an important distinction here. Awareness is not the same as conclusion. A quiz result might tell you are probably attracted to women, but it doesn't know your lived experiences, your emotional depth, or how your attractions might shift over time. Human sexuality is far too complex to be boxed into a single score or percentage. The result might align with what you already suspect, or it might surprise you, but either way, it's just one piece of the puzzle, not the entire picture. Think of a self-reflection tool as a mirror. When you look into it, you see a reflection of yourself, but not every detail, not the full three-dimensional you. A mirror can show you where to start combing your hair, but it can't tell you how you'll feel about your appearance tomorrow. Likewise, a sexuality test can point you towards certain truths, but it can't dictate your identity or future attractions. Another reason it shouldn't be treated as the final word is that people evolve. Feelings you have now might deepen, fade, or transform with new experiences. Some women who once identified as bisexual later realize they feel exclusively attracted to women. Others discover the opposite. That evolution doesn't mean the earlier feelings were wrong. It means you're human, and your understanding of yourself is growing. So, when you take a lesbian sexuality test, or any test about identity, use it as a starting point for exploration. Journal about the questions that stood out to you. Notice how your body and emotions react when you think about different scenarios. Talk openly with trusted friends or within safe communities. These steps will give you a richer, more authentic understanding of your sexuality than any test result alone. At the end of the day, self-reflection tools are like road signs. They point you in a possible direction, but they don't walk the journey for you. Helps recognize patterns of attraction. One of the most powerful parts of understanding your sexuality is learning to recognize the patterns in your attractions. Many people assume attraction is a random, unpredictable feeling, something that just happens when the right person comes along. While there is truth to that, there are often clear, repeating patterns in who you're drawn to, how you respond emotionally, and the kind of relationships you seek. Becoming aware of these patterns can be life-changing, especially for women questioning whether they might be lesbian or bisexual. Patterns of attraction aren't always obvious at first. Some women grow up in environments where attraction to the opposite gender is presented as the default, so early crushes on women notice butterflies in your stomach, lingering thoughts, or a deep desire to be closer to certain women. Those are important signals. Similarly, you might find that your emotional bonds with women feel stronger, more natural, and more exciting than with men, even if you've never openly acknowledged that difference. Understanding these patterns is not just about sexuality, it's also about emotional well-being. Many people enter relationships that feel safe or socially acceptable rather than ones that truly align with their deepest attractions. This can lead to years of unfulfilled connections, where something always feels off, but is hard to explain. By recognizing your attraction patterns early, you give yourself the chance to seek relationships that actually meet your emotional and romantic needs. It's also important to accept that patterns can evolve. Sexuality can be fluid, and what feels true in your teens might shift in your 20s or 30s. Recognizing patterns doesn't lock you into an identity, it simply gives you greater awareness of what's been true for you so far. Challenges to heteronormative conditioning. From the moment we are born, society quietly hands us a script. Girls are expected to grow up liking boys, and boys are expected to grow up liking girls. Stories, movies, songs, even casual conversations at family dinners all reinforce the same idea. Heterosexuality is the default, and everything else is an exception. This is what's known as heteronormative conditioning, the deep, often unconscious belief that being straight is the norm, and anything different is unusual, abnormal, or even wrong. Challenging this conditioning isn't just about speaking up. It's about unlearning years, sometimes decades, of subtle messages that shaped how we see ourselves and others. For many people, especially those in the LGBTQ+ community, the first challenge is simply recognizing that heteronormativity exists. Because it's everywhere, woven into children's books, advertising, religious teachings, and cultural traditions, it feels invisible, like air. You don't notice it until you realize it's limiting your ability to breathe freely. One of the most powerful ways to challenge heteronormative conditioning is through self-awareness. This means questioning our own automatic assumptions. For example, when we hear someone mention their partner, why do we instinctively picture the opposite gender? Why do parents ask little girls if they have a boyfriend instead of asking about someone special without assuming gender? These small moments reveal how deeply conditioning runs and how easy it is to break once we start noticing it. Another challenge is the fear of social backlash. Confronting heteronormativity can make people uncomfortable because it pushes against traditions and power structures. Speaking openly about same-gender love, advocating for inclusive education, or even using gender-neutral language can draw criticism from those who see such actions as unnecessary or threatening. It takes courage to keep pushing forward, especially when change feels slow. But history has shown that what begins as controversial often becomes the new normal once enough people challenge outdated thinking. Representation is another crucial tool in dismantling heteronormativity. When TV shows, films, books, and news stories show LGBTQ+ lives as normal, full, and complex, not just stereotypes or tragedies. It sends a message. This is part of the human experience. Visibility doesn't just help queer people feel seen, it helps everyone understand that love and identity come in many forms. And the more we see it, the more natural it becomes. Finally, challenging heteronormative conditioning is not just about breaking free for ourselves, it's about building a more inclusive future. Every time we speak up, correct an assumption, or share our story, we plant a seed. We make it easier for the next generation to grow up without the same invisible walls around their hearts and minds. The truth is, heteronormativity thrives in silence. Encourages emotional honesty. In a world where appearances often matter more than truth, emotional honesty can feel like a radical act. It's the courage to say, "This is how I really feel," even when those feelings are messy, inconvenient, or misunderstood. Emotional honesty isn't just about telling the truth to others, it's about being truthful with yourself first. It's about stripping away the polite smiles, the rehearsed responses, and the easy half-truths we tell to avoid discomfort, and instead facing what's really going on inside. When it comes to relationships, emotional honesty becomes even more important. Many people hide their true feelings out of fear of rejection, fear of judgment, or fear of hurting someone they care about. But holding back these truths creates distance, not closeness. If we can't be open about what we want, what we need, or what's hurting us, our relationships become fragile facades. Or expressing hurt, we stop wasting energy on pretending. This clarity doesn't just help in romantic relationships, it transforms friendships, family dynamics, and even workplace interactions. People start to trust your words because they know they're genuine. You stop saying, "I'm fine," when you're not. You stop agreeing to things you resent. You stop living a life shaped by other people's expectations and start living a life shaped by your truth. Of course, emotional honesty doesn't mean blurting out every thought without sensitivity. It's about balancing truth with compassion, speaking in a way that's real but also respectful. It's not a weapon to wound others, but a bridge to deeper understanding. Sometimes emotional honesty can lead to uncomfortable conversations, but those conversations are often the ones that bring the greatest growth. In the end, emotional honesty is freedom. It's the freedom to stop performing and start living authentically. It's the relief of not carrying around a secret version of yourself. Limitations and fluidity of sexuality. Sexuality is one of the most intimate and complex aspects of human identity, yet it's often treated as something fixed and easily labeled. Society loves neat boxes, straight, gay, lesbian, bisexual, as if everyone's desires and attractions can be sorted like items on a shelf. While labels can be empowering, they can also create limitations when they fail to reflect the depth and diversity of human experience. The truth is, sexuality is rarely as rigid as we've been taught. For many people, it shifts and evolves over time, shaped by personal growth, emotional connections, and life circumstances. This is the very essence of fluidity. The first limitation in how we approach sexuality is our reliance on narrow definitions. Labels can give people a sense of belonging and community, but they can also create pressure to choose an identity early and stick with it forever. For someone whose attractions change over time, this can feel suffocating. Imagine identifying as straight in your teens, only to realize in your 20s that you are attracted to the same gender, or starting off identifying as lesbian and later finding yourself drawn to men. The beauty of embracing fluidity is that it removes the pressure to have all the answers right now. It allows space for curiosity, exploration, and authentic connection without the fear of betraying a label. Accepting the limitations and fluidity of sexuality can be liberating. It helps be more of a flashlight. It can illuminate corners of your mind you haven't explored, bringing clarity to thoughts you've perhaps been unsure about. Above all, give yourself the space to grow, to explore, and to love in a way that feels true to who you are.